Hey guys, and welcome back to Sin's Row. Today I've got something that's a little bit different for the kind of content I normally will make on this channel, and it's because I took a second to sit back and I was thinking about Apex releasing on the Nintendo Switch about 2 weeks ago, and I was thinking about the players that might be on the Nintendo Switch right now that don't know a lot about the game but want to know a lot about the game, and so here I am. Today I'm going to be going over all the different legends in Apex. Just as a start, it's going to be kind of like a mini series that I'm going to be doing. We're going to cover all the weapons, all the characters. We're also going to cover like the maps and some of the cool geometry, the maps and stuff. Um, Maybe some game sense, team compositions, and all sorts of different stuff like that. Today we're going to focus on specifically the different legends within the game because that's what everybody cares about. Nobody cares about the weapons. When you're new, nobody gives a shit about the weapons. They only care about the legends. They only care about the cool people that you get to play as. So, we're going to start with that today. If you guys are excited, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. That'd really show me some love and support, and that'd mean just the absolute world to me. And if you guys want to come check me out live, I also stream over on Twitch Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I will leave a link to that down below in the description. And without further ado, we're gonna jump over to the main scene. I'm using my streaming setup because honestly, this is what you're gonna see when you come over to my live stream, and it's also a really good setup just in general, especially for this game. So I am going to start from the I'm going to go into a training range, and I'm going to start from the very beginning, starting from Bloodhound, going all the way down to Fuse, and explain all the different passives, their abilities, their ultimates, and stuff like that. So, hopefully you will get an idea about who you would want to play, and the kind of, pseudo playstyle that you want to take. But the cool thing about Apex Legends is not any character has a specific playstyle except for maybe two of them. So we're gonna kind of just like go into that kind of mindset with this. We're gonna start out with Bloodhound here. Now Bloodhound is also my main. As you can see, I've got his heirloom. This is a very special case, and we can talk about heirlooms in a future episode when we're talking about specific weapons. But we're gonna start out with talking about his abilities. Now, Bloodhound is really cool with what he can do. He is, I think they call him a neurological tracker, if that's correct. Technological tracker. They call him a technological tracker. So, what he can do is, if there's like movement going around on the field, right? Like if these bots were moving around, he could see their footsteps and he could follow them. He could like track them down and be like, all right, let's go take this fight, and then they'd go in for a kill. That's his passive ability. A passive ability is something that you don't have to do anything to activate. It's something that just happens on its own. His tactical ability, so his left bumper, or I think it's E on PC, you're going to be talking about his scan. So as you can see, I just scanned that person, and you can see him through the walls and stuff. You can scan them through the walls too. That's what's really cool about his ability. It's on 20-second cooldown, so it's got a pretty long cooldown, but overall, it's a really very useful passive ability. And it can be used very easily to figure out if you can push, like if somebody is a solo, you can all push them as a squad and make life a heck of a lot easier. Now, Bloodhound's ultimate is also really cool, and it's probably probably one of the coolest things about his kit. So, when you activate Bloodhound's ultimate, his cooldown gets reduced to like 4 or 5 seconds. It gets reduced quite a bit. But also, when you use it, everything goes gray, except for the enemies. They turn red. They turn red. And your scan also goes off faster. You can put your scan off faster. So keep that in mind as you're like going to push a team. If you have your ultimate and this is going to be a lengthy fight, you might want to pop it right before the fight starts, and then you can like kind of go ham. That's what's really cool about Bloodhound. His ult charges pretty quickly. His tactical charges pretty quickly. Overall, very good player. He's a very good character, and honestly, I've mained him since day one. I can't get enough of him. I love him a lot. That's enough about Bloodhound. Next, we're going to talk about Gibraltar. People call Gibraltar Gibby. So, Gibby's passive, if you ADS long enough, you get this gun shield. And you could toggle the gun shield on and off if you don't need it up or stuff. But this basically will block his entire upper body, including most of his head, depending on the angle. So, fighting this person as on high ground, like if I'm right here, he can't hit me at all. The only thing he can hit is my shield. And my shield can absorb, I think, 50 damage. I think. I'm not sure how much damage it can absorb. It absorbs a good amount of damage, though. And it's literally the difference between winning a fight and losing a fight. Gibby's tactical ability is called a Dome Shield. The thing with his Dome Shield that makes it so cool is
shield up.
Bullets cannot go through the shield at all. My bullets can't go through the shield. Any bullets can't go through the shield. It doesn't matter whose bullets they are. They won't go through the shield. However, physical players can. They can walk in and out of the shield as much as they want. It knows no difference between an enemy player and a friendly player, which is really cool. Now, Gibby's ultimate is a projectile that, when you throw it, you can actually throw it pretty far too. It basically acts like a grenade, except it won't bounce. But look how far I can throw this. I'm basically all the way up in spawn right now, and I can chuck it all the way over to that mannequin, or to that little test dummy. I can just donk him on the head with it. Hold on, let me see if I can do that. Yonk.
Calling the airstrike.
So, Gibby's airstrike, if you look up, is just gonna bring down Hellfire within that certain area. It's not very precise, however, it is still very powerful. Like, you just heard, I cracked this person right here. The other thing about Gibby's ultimate that's really cool is, like, there's kind of like a passive thing that it does, where if you are, if you're caught in it and you get hit by one of the falling airstrikes, you get slowed down and you get blurred vision. It's a very good ult. It's good to get people off of high grounds, and it's good to like if you know somebody is like healing behind cover, you could chuck it behind, like on top of or behind the cover, and it can cause them to move around, and it's very powerful. And I honestly, it is a very annoying ultimate to have. Lifeline is really cool. I can't show off Lifeline's passive either, but what it is, so normally when you would go to pick up one of your downed teammates, your downed teammates would that would cause you to like be taken out of the fight because you're having to go pick them up. Lifeline, instead of like putting her physical body into picking somebody up, puts down her dock drone, her healing drone. And the healing drone will pick them up as if it was a normal player, and it also puts up like a protective shield, so that way oh my god. So that way they're protected while they're getting rest, so they don't get killed on the floor. Very good, it's very good. For tactical, again, it's the health drone. So if I were to take damage here, I throw my nade down on the floor. Hopefully I don't die to this. The dock drone will heal me. I was actually worried I was about to kill myself with that arc star. So the dock drone will heal you. It's only on the floor for so long, and the cooldown for it's pretty long too. But it's still really cool. It's a really nice passive to have, especially if you're somebody that doesn't like to carry around syringes and stuff. Very useful. Very useful. Lifeline's ultimate personal care package. So, the thing about Lifeline packages, it won't spawn anything like gold bags or gold knockdown shields. The only thing gold it will spawn are the hop-ups. So like turbocharger, skull piercer, and stuff like that. It spawns a lot of purple gear and meds. So look, I just got a purple knockdown shield, a gold 4 4-8 sight. This would go on my Sentinel that I've got in my thing, and then a 4-8
Optics
variable.
here. Sniper.
So, some really cool things. Normally, I don't use the 4-8 or the 410 because the black box that it causes. But still, get some really cool things from the Lifeline packages. Next, we got Pathfinder, which I've actually been playing a lot of Pathfinder recently. Is there a respawn or a survey beacon around here? I think, I don't know. So, Pathfinder's passive is when there's a survey beacon and he uses the survey beacon, he can reduce the time on his cooldowns. Specifically his tactical. Now his tactical has a really interesting mechanic to it. So, depending on how far you go with your tactical, depends on how long the cooldown was. Like there when I used it, the cooldown was 10 seconds. However, if I were to get to a spot where I can literally launch myself, so like I'm gonna get up here, I'm just gonna launch myself right here.
Grappling.
This cooldown just became 20 seconds. It literally doubled in time. So, the further you go with the tactical, the longer the cooldown, but only for so long. And it's really cool. And then Pathfinder's ultimate is a zip line. You see, like one of these zip lines. However, you can place it basically wherever you want. So I'm gonna actually place it up here.
Zip line deployed.
His ultimate is really good for getting to high ground for your whole team as opposed to just yourself. Like as you can see, I can sit up here, and if like this were a player right here, that would have totally caught him off guard, right? It's a very good tool to be using for fights. If you're good enough with it, you can also pop it down mid-fight and use it to like line jump. I think is what people call it. They call it line jumping. It's very, very powerful kind of tool to have. Wraith
Now
is
for
really
the
cool.
right choice.
They call her an interdimensional skirmisher. So, Wraith has a passive called... I don't remember what it's called, but what it happens is... If somebody is aiming at her, right? So let's say that was a player, that moving thing right there. If I'm running, and I don't see them, if they're looking at me, I get a voice in my head that goes, I think somebody's aiming at you, and stuff along those lines. And I can relay that to my team and say, like, I'm not sure, I think someone's targeting me. And then you can know somebody's, like, looking for you and stuff. And then you can, like, get ready for a fight. Her tactical, she phases into, like, a different dimension. It's called Void Running. And you're immune to all damage. You're immune to all damage, and you're slightly faster, which is really, really cool. And then her ultimate, kind of similar to her phase run. However, when I go to place it,
Setting a portal.
right, I can only place it for a certain distance. A lot of people will place the portal and then use her tactical alongside it.
I set the portal.
So, this portal, you can like go in and out of the portal and stuff. It's really good for getting into fights and getting out of fights very quickly. Honestly, a very good ultimate to have. This is up for like a minute or two. It's up for a pretty long time, not gonna lie.
Portal here.
So, you can just kind of let that be, and it'll go away on its own. It always goes away on its own. Bangalore is really interesting.
Time to drop
So-
shock and rock.
Well, first off, if you know Apex Legends memes,
Light ammo here.
okay, she likes to be a smartass about
here.
certain things.
Highly effective indoors.
There it is. She likes to try and give interesting
Heavy ammo
tips,
here.
but sometimes they're just kind of weird.
Wingman here. Spitfire here. Hemlock here. Flatline here.
So, it's just interesting. You know, if you've seen the Apex Legends memes where she goes, got a closed door here, keeps the outside from the inside, that's exactly what they're talking about. Anyways, so Bangalore's passive is an adrenaline boost. So if somebody is shooting near Bangalore but they miss her, she gets this small speed boost, so it makes her harder to hit, and it's really cool. It's a really cool, effective tool to be getting in and out of fights. her tactical are smoke grenades that you can launch a pretty hefty distance. Like, I could launch these pretty far.
Pop in the chimney.
The thing about them is they also do damage to the enemy, which is pretty funny. But, so these smoke grenades, you can't see through them very well. Right? And you can't, like, anybody can use them. Like, it's definitely a two-way mirror. So, if you see here, at least with my digital thread, because I got the digital thread on, I could see that person through the smoke.
Giving him the chimney.
Which is really cool. Her ultimate, it's kind of similar to Gibby's ultimate, but instead of just a nice circle that puts all of the shells into a concise spot, depending on where the thing lands, see how it just perfectly stood still right there? The ultimate spreads out along the field in a very large way, and then it goes off. Still a very good ultimate. Use it a similar way to Gibby, but you can also use it to run away. So if I'm getting shot at in a fight that we can't take, I'd pop my ultimate, toss it down, run away. It's very convenient. It's a very nice ult to have, specifically to run away. So, I mean, that's the way I see it. Now we got Caustic.
I control death.
The thing about Caustic
Does
that
not
makes him
control me.
cool is that he was the first, like, trap character to come out. This trap being a gas trap.
Beware, I've added a variable.
So, the thing about the gas traps with the enemies, if you get close enough to them, they'll just set off on their own. However, you can also activate them as Gibby if you just shoot them. You can destroy them as the enemy if you shoot the bottom black part. You can only have 6 traps on the field at a time.
The trap is set.
And
To follow.
as you place more traps, if you've already placed all the... That's what I thought. Anyways, if you place more than 6 traps on the field, the oldest trap that you've placed will get replaced with the newest trap. So keep that in mind as you're placing your traps down. If you are Caustic,
Placing gas trap.
you are not affected by your own caustic gas or enemy caustic gas. So he was legitimately meta for a very long time. Caustic's ultimate, very similar to how his actual trap works, except it's not a trap, it's a grenade. So you could chuck it onto high ground and stuff, and it spans over a larger area. So
Another variable for the lab rats.
if you look at the area that this is spread out upon, basically like the immediate vicinity of the trap,
Everything. My vision is clear.
and then this one is like a much larger area. It also lasts for a much longer period of time. Like, I killed 2 whole mannequins in that entire period. So, something to keep in mind. Like, that trap went away the same time that did. This lasts for like twice as long, I think. Pretty long time. Mirage does a lot of... If you can play him right, he is very much a lot of fun. So, his passive is like an invisibility. So when you go to pick somebody up, either at a respawn beacon or if you just go to res them on the ground, he goes completely invisible. The exception being his, he's got these circle patches that allows him to show off his clones, which I'll get to in a second. And that's the only real way you can see him. Very good, very powerful. It's very good for like in the middle of a fight when there's a lot going on. People will typically miss you, and it's really funny. His tactical is a clone of himself. That if you hit right left stick, you can actually kind of control them. So if you can use these in a very funny way, honestly, if you use them right. However, if you start controlling a decoy while it's running, it will not continue to run. It will stop in place when you stop controlling it. His ultimate is 8 of him. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5. You get 5 of him. So you can use this in the middle of a fight to try and confuse people. This is very effective indoors. Like, it is super powerful to use. Each clone makes its own set of footsteps, by the way. Like, in terms of sound, they will make their own footsteps. So, very good. It's a very good ultimate in order to try and literally bamboozle your enemy.
Send in a decoy. Wait, how do I know I'm not the decoy?
It's very cool. And they have like 40 health. They used to get killed with one shot, but now they have 40 health. So, really good. It's a really good, it's a really good passive along with the ultimate. The ultimate is also really good. Now, Octane is a lot of fun.
What a rush!
Octane's passive ability, it comes from his tactical, because his tactical you have to hurt yourself to use. So I'm going to talk about the tactical first this time. Tactical being a stim shot.
Must go faster.
So it makes you go a little bit faster at the cost of like losing a little bit of health. It will only affect your base health. However, if you look at my health bar, I'm actually regenning health. Octane has a passive health regen, and he's the only one with a passive health regen. So it's really cool. Honestly, one of the cooler passes, I think. I think it's very convenient to be having it, but that's also just me. Octane is one of the people that I was talking about has a very specific kind of playstyle, because, for example, you would run like a quick fire SMG like the R9, and you'd be wanting to get into your opponent's face to like really throw them off, because you're hard to hit. You're small, you're fast, you're hard to hit. So you want to be able to like get into their face. Part of the way you do get into their face is with his ultimate.
Throwing jump pad.
The jump pad is really cool because it's kind of versatile with how you can use it. You can use it, usually you would use it to get into a fight, or you can also use it to escape. And there's a couple of different ways to get different distance, because you can get some really mad vertical distance from just jumping on it normally. You can also double jump on it, I forgot to mention that. So like if you just jump on it, you can like get a lot of vertical distance. If you just walk into it, you get some pretty good height along with normal distance. However, if you slide into it like I did the first time, right here, you get more distance. Because Octane's got his stim, he gets extra speed, so he gets extra distance. So, very cool. You can't destroy the pad. Oh, yes, you can. So, like, if you shoot the green part of the pad, you can destroy it. But, no matter what, you can always get it back. Very cool, very convenient. And, honestly, it's a pretty good ultimate. He also gets it very quickly. Him and Mirage get their ults extremely quickly. So, that is also something to keep in mind.
Good to be back.
Watson recently got buffed. Because she used to only have one passive. That passive being with the ultimate accelerants, because normally you can only stack one on top of each other in your inventory, but she can stack 2 in a stack. Which honestly is kind of convenient, only if you're Watson, because of what her ultimate is. And I'll talk about that in a second after I talk about her passive. This is how she got buffed, by the way. So, kind of similar to Octane's health regen. Watson gets a passive shield regen that actually lasts, that is half of what Octane's is. So Octane's is like 1 HP per second, and Watson's is half a shield per second. So it's double the time of Octane's health, or it's double the time for it to, for her entire shield to regen compared to Octane's health, but it's still, like, it's a cool passive. It's a really cool passive, especially if you're kind of running low on shield stuff. Her tactical are these electric gates that you can put up that also connect to each other. So I can, like, totally block off this, this thing. I can have so many up at a time. It's really cool. And so when people walk through these, they get some pretty hefty damage done to their shield. along with the fact that they get massively slowed down. I mean, severely slowed down. And it's really good. Watson's ultimate.
Negating all incoming artillery.
What
Sweet
this does
silence.
is it will, one, it increases this rate that you get your gates back, so you can put your gates down a lot quicker.
Putting down a fence.
I think you can also have more up at a time,
Fence placed.
because normally you can only have so many. Dude, I've totally taken over this charge tower. The really cool thing about Watson's ultimate is that it actually blocks grenades. Not passive grenades, so not grenades that your team throws, but enemy grenades. You can also have 3 of these pylons
Shush now.
running
No more
at the
stones.
same time. Along with the fact that they also can regen your shields for you. Honestly, I think Watson has one of the best ultimates in the game in terms of support utility. Only because she can have 3 of these down at the same time. Which is part of the reason why she's allowed to have the passive that she does with the ult
Shush
accelerants.
now. No more storms.
And Watson and Octane are the only ones that are allowed to have Octane can throw out as many jump pads as he wants. They will never destroy or despawn. Same thing with Pathfinder. But in terms of like the amount of utility you get from Watson with her ults,
Laying
it's
fences.
insane. You can also have a lot of fences down at one time, which is pretty amazing. These will destroy on their own over time. You can see that from the timer on the floor. So like, as that reaches up to the top here, it will get destroyed. So keep that in mind as you're taking fights and stuff. It's very good against Gibby and Bangalore because their ults are they count as grenades. So keep that in mind. The same thing with Fuse, but we'll get to Fuse here in a second. Crypto.
They tried to get rid of me. They failed.
Crypto is really cool because he's the only Apex legend with a drone. And not only is he the only one with a drone, his ultimate revolves around his drone. So, just like Pathfinder and Bloodhound, I need to make this clear. Any recon character, so Bloodhound, Lifeline, and Crypto, all can use the survey beacons. There's a lot of really cool hidden abilities with Crypto that nobody really talks about. One of the things you can do is when you're in your drone, you can fly up to your teammates' boxes and pick up their banner if they're like dead. And you can use a respawn beacon. The respawn beacons use immediately. It is an immediate respawn, which is very, very good. On these banners, you can see it says 0 hostile squads in drone range, meaning from wherever my drone is, which I think it's either 100 or 200 meters of my drone, it will tell me how many squads are in the area.
Yeah, there are no squads near us.
And I can relay that to my team. This is one that people don't know about. This is one that people totally forget. Here's the other thing. The drone can actually be attached to. So if you're Pathfinder, you can use your grapple and attach to it. Not his ultimate, but his tactical. It's honestly hilarious. Now, his ultimate is an EMP. So if I come right here,
Activating EMP.
I will do damage to their shields and only their shields. However, if they were trying to move, they'd also be massively slowed down. So it's very kind of inconvenient, but it's also very good. We've got Revenant.
Why can't I just die already?
That line would make sense if you knew all the lore behind the character. So, Revenant's passive is he's got a quieter walk or a quieter crouch, and he's also walks faster than other legends. So he's basically a stealth character, and that's how he's meant to be played. Kind of, it's meant to be a stealth character, which I think it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. His tactical is a silence, so
Gonna shut you up.
it does 10 damage every time you walk through it. And then if... So let's say this was Bloodhound, right? If he were trying to use his tactical, he couldn't use it. All of your abilities are disabled for about 30 seconds, and he can throw 2 of these out at a time. It's really good, and honestly, it's very scary knowing when you're on low health, when you hear a Revenant thing get thrown. On top of the fact that you can't use your abilities, you're losing health. It's kind of terrifying. Now, Revenant's ultimate has a very interesting interaction with you as a player. So, how it works, right? You enter the death protection. If you look at my health bar is kind of like fiery right now. So, what would happen here is, let's just take an Arc Star. I'm going to throw it at my feet. When I throw this Arc Star at my feet, it's going to ignore my shield. It only did damage to my health. If I lose all of this health, I go back to the totem, and I only have half my health. However, I still have all my shield. So I basically get 1.5 lives. Right? The higher level your shield is, the more dangerous that can be. So, very powerful, and it's very good. Meta right now has been Octane Revenant, so we'll have to see about that. Loba is really cool with her with her tactical. So I can see those purple things and those gold things through. This is basically a wall right here, and you can see them through the wall, and I can ping them through the wall.
Optics here. Optics here. Sniper.
Which is super powerful and super good. Loba's tactical kind of acts like I used to be able to compare it to something. I can't remember what I was comparing it to before, but you can kind of just chuck it. You can chuck it pretty far, and it's basically a teleport. Very good for getting up to high ground and stuff. Only use it about every 25 to 30 seconds, but it's really good. It is really good. Loba's ultimate is what is called the Black Market. So I can take, well, wait for a couple seconds while it recharges, and it is done. So I can chuck this. You see this dome that's here? Anything that's within this dome, basically, can be looted from my thing. It's a very large area, and only Loba can actually see the dome, and he can only see it when it's getting placed. So we throw this down here.
Shop's open for business.
So you can take any 2 items that you want from this black market. And this is showing literally everything in the area within the black market. The exception is you can take as much ammo as you want. So if I need light ammo and I need sniper ammo, I can just kind of take it. However, if I wanted to take like the helmet and the bag, these are now the only 2 things I can get. And I can't put them back. Once I grab it, it's mine. So it's very cool. There's a really cool interaction with Loba on on World's Edge, where there's like locked vaults that you need a key to get into. It's called a vault key. But Loba can actually take 1 item from the vault, and only Loba can do it. Nobody else can take it, and then you can only take the 1 item. After you take that item, the black market will get destroyed. So, it's really cool, though. Alright. Now, the really cool thing about Loba, right? If I have this black market up right here. Let's just throw this down right here real quick.
Setting up shop. Tossing jump
Right?
drive.
If I go get another ultimate, if I go get another black market, I can throw this one down at the same time. Throw this one down right here.
Let's do some shopping.
And then that one will disappear on its own. It's really cool. It's really cool that they'll just kind of disappear on their own like that. Rampart? Rampart's a
Yep,
lot of
I'm
fun.
here,
I enjoy
I'm back.
Rampart
Don't ask questions.
quite a bit. So, Rampart has a passive that revolves around LMGs. So, if I were to grab the Spitfire here,
Right. Now this is what I'm
I
talking
get
about.
increased magazine capacity on LMGs at every level, including at purple level, and I reload them faster. So I have 63 bullets in this magazine. You shoot for a very long time. It's very amazing. Oh my god, I don't know where this cough is coming from. For tactical are the shields. They're called amped
Tossing up
covers.
some amped cover.
The cool thing about the amped they have interesting interactions, as you can see, with the environment around them. So, the thing with the shields is that you can go through the actual amped part of the shield. As bullets go through the shield, they get increased damage. So, you look here, a body shot to this dummy is 19, but if I go into the amped cover, it becomes 23. Headshots on this dummy are 38. Through the shield, that's, I don't think it's actually 46. No, it is 46. But yeah, so very powerful. These are very scary if you've got good accuracy. The thing is, you have to play defensive with it. So, but that's okay. Now, her ultimate is a mounted
There's a
LMG.
distinct lack of Sheila in this place.
It's called Sheila. That you can like turn. I think it's got like 180 degrees. So from here to here is 180 degrees. 90 in each direction, depending on from where you place it. And
This is the best bloody day ever!
yeah,
Better call your mom.
the thing is,
Gonna need
once it
some cordling.
once it runs out of damage, or it's got a long reload time, but after the reload time, you can just go right back to firing.
Lacking in the winning department.
And the thing is, if you look at the spread, I'm gonna hold the reload this real quick. No, I'm not.
Better call your
Why?
moms. Gonna need some
So-
cordling.
As you shoot, the spread becomes tighter and tighter on the gun, but only so much. It is very much scary in the right spot. It's very oppressive, and much like Watson, you can have 3 of these up at a time. You could have 3 mounted LMGs up. You could have 1 for each player on your team. Kind of terrifying. We don't talk about it.
Back from a wee kip.
Horizon has a really cool passive that stems from her tactical.
Up and away,
So
matey.
when you're up, this is called a gravity lift. When you jump off, when you hit the floor, you don't get stunned. You just keep going. And Horizon is the only legend in the game that does not get stunned from high falls. And again, it's because of her tactical. Her tactical is the only reason why it's like that. So, her ultimate. Get over here real quick.
Flash yourself. Here's a pick me up.
Her ultimate is literally a black hole that will suck you up into the center of it. I wonder if that's enough distance. So what a lot of Horizon players will do, they will throw down the gravity lift and activate their ult in the air. So if I chuck it right about there,
Between friends.
oh, I didn't grab either one of them. But this will grab enemies within this circle. Even myself. You see, I'm getting pulled by it. What's so oppressive about it is if you're almost out of the range of it as the enemy, but it activates, you get pulled straight into the center, regardless of how close you were to the edge. It's very, very oppressive, and it can be kind of scary. But at the same time, you know, the ultimate itself is not that good. It can also be destroyed. So keep that in mind as you're playing, that the ultimate can, in fact, get destroyed while you're doing your stuff. So, each to their own. And now the last legend to talk about is Fuse. Fuse has a really cool thing that he can stack grenades in stacks of 2. That's his passive. Along with the fact that he can actually... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That was the wrong thing. He can also launch them further. So, I can chuck this Arc Star a very sizable distance compared to other ones. And it's because of the arm mount. Oh my god, I actually hit that thing. I didn't even mean to. It is very much a powerful thing. And the tactical, as you saw me use on accident, it's called the Knuckle Cluster. It basically acts like a cluster grenade. Kind of interesting. Not too broken, not too strong. It's pretty balanced, I think. It's very oppressive. It's very good to get enemies that are low on health. And you can also stick it to people like Arc Stars. Now, other than the Knuckle Cluster, the Arc Star is the only grenade that you can actually stick to a player. Which is very interesting. So again, to just demonstrate the stickage of the cluster. Stuck it right to him. No matter where he goes, he's going to get hurt by it. Did have his shield. It's not too potent. Now, uses ultimate, called the Ring of Fire. I can also launch this pretty sizable distance, by the way. I can launch this like 200 meters away. So right there,
We ought to go here.
I'm trying to hit maximum distance right now. Right about here is maximum distance. Let me see. What am I stuck on? There we go. That is maximum distance.
What do you say?
About 200 meters. Very far. So you can like set yourself up pretty far away from the enemy so you can do your thing. However, that's what this looks like. Nobody can go through this fire without getting slowed or hurt, even myself. Caustic is actually the only person that does not get hurt by his ultimate. Or at least his damaging ultimate. Any ultimate that damages people will hurt the person that cast the ultimate. With the exception of Caustic, because he can't be affected by the Nox gas. And that is every Apex legend in the game. Down to a T. Now, a new legend gets released every single season. So I will probably do an episode covering the new character. And honestly, I'll probably do a video covering each character individually. Talking about how you can play each character and the different play styles that each one can kind of bring to their team. So we'll go over that as time goes on. But other than that, we are done. You don't have anyone else to cover. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming by and checking out this video. If you are new, this was really for the Apex players coming to the Switch. However, of course, this could be used for anybody. So if you're new to Apex Legends, hopefully that this guide to each character was helpful. I will be covering each character individually. Probably put some gameplay in the background for each character. And in the meantime, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out in Sins Row. Again, if you guys liked this content and you want to drop a subscription, or you want to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. It'd show me some support, show me some love. Let me know you guys want to see more content like this. And hit that like button. It tells me the same thing. If you want, go ahead and hit the notification bell. You'll know every time I post a new video. And until next time, I hope you guys have yourselves a good rest of your day, morning, whatever time it may be for you. Much love from the Crow's Nest, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.